Our next opening remarks. Pleasure to introduce the chairman of SEB and Saab, and also newly appointed chairman of the Sweden-India Business Leaders Roundtable, Marcus Wallenberg, please.
Minister, Ambassador, Excellencies, friends, it's great to be here. Thank you very much for taking time to come to Sweden, Minister. I think that is great. And nowadays it's a pleasure, always a pleasure to listen to a representative of your government, because you're carrying a very, very strong message. And now you're hitting us here in Sweden on an interesting point in time. We're going through a lot of change, and we are a truly export-driven country, and with a big part of our GDP completely dependent on our export and our international relations. And this plays a big role for us. I believe that the Nobel laureate, Mr. Tagore, actually said that you cannot learn anything about the world without just by standing looking at the water. You have to go across the sea. And in this country, we learned that already by the Vikings, because the Vikings, if you start going down to the historical museum a few kilometers from here, you will see actually that the Vikings were all over the place, and that was 1,000 years ago. So trade is really at the heart of the situation. So let me put it this way. It's a fantastic thing for Sweden that had its industry for such a long time in India. I mean, almost 150,000 people are related to Swedish companies today in India. And you mentioned Ericsson and SKF as two examples of having been present in Ericsson or in India. And in the case of Ericsson has, of course, put a tremendous amount of resources, both in terms of investments and in people in India going forward. So what can we learn about that? Well, I think one thing we can learn about this is that it's a matter a little bit of history, because when we look at the Swedish companies established in India today, a big push came, of course, in the 1960s in Pune, where we had a strong establishment of new Swedish companies. But I also believe that when we look ahead into the Make in India initiative, which we think is a fantastic way of looking upon the future, and it probably suits Swedish industry a lot, I think we should actually grab the opportunity of what is actually happening now in the new business. In the digital economy today, I believe will open up a new possibility for Swedish companies to come to India. We have a lot of companies. We think traditionally of the big Swedish companies like Ericsson and ABB and all these. And they, of course, found, in my view, a very strong base for what we do between our two countries. However, if you look at some of the very small companies here being started up in Sweden, there is a tremendous interest in India. There is a small tech company here called Truecaller, which has more than 100 million users in India already, a little bit more even than Ericsson, actually. And I think this only exemplifies the possibilities that we have in establishing new business ventures, open up new doors between Sweden and India going forward here. And you met with the Minister of Enterprise. I think our government is extremely happy with the new economy companies are moving forward in Sweden and so on. But if we're going to make them really big and being the part of the future of the Swedish ecosystem, this is something that we will have to push even more. And I believe that the way India and the digitalization going on in India, that will be an extremely good way to find future potential work. So we were very happy. We came to India to listen to the Make in India exhibition by your Prime Minister. That was something that we were very, very impressed by. Now we have to go from sounds to things. And I believe that one of the big questions that are being discussed in India now is how to implement all of these fantastic ambitions that are going through right now. So on our end, together with Indian business, we have formed this council that will work even more on real questions, and we hope that that will continue in a good way. But on your end, we hope that India will continue to reform, embark on, continue this embarkation of reforming the economy going on. We really hope that you will participate in the global way of looking not only on manufacturing and setting up business, but also on the trade agenda of the world. And of course, connecting into the digital economy, which we all believe is going to be an important part going forward. So once again, Minister, thank you so much for taking time to come here. Thank you all for being here, and thanks for letting me speak. Thank you very much.